This is Elton Kane for Finextra at Cybos, and I'm here with Leda Glyptis of Bank of New York Mellon. Leda, the innovation opportunities are more well known in the retail banking space, but what opportunities are there in the corporate space?
The opportunities for us at the back end or the core of the financial services tend to come from two directions. One is our clients who have a retail presence are impacted and inspired in ways that are much faster, and that value chain from end consumer to retail provider to supporting institutions around the back is actually contracting these days, and it's a much tighter loop than it ever was. And it's not just a behavioral thing, it's also a supporting stack thing. If the technology at the front end changes, you have to change the way you do it at the back end. But for an organization like ours, the opportunity to create a back end that doesn't just support but powers what the retail player can do is very inspiring. For our organization, it's a journey we've been on for 2-3 years now. And it's fantastic to see it align now, and also the proof that maybe the gamble you took to invest in this was actually a sound one. But what we're thinking, and the strategy that inspires us, is what would it take to create an infrastructure that powers what your retail front customers can do for their retail customers in a way that creates economies of scale, network effects, reusable infrastructures, and redefines and reaffirms your purpose in this ecosystem.
What do you find are the barriers to innovation there, and how do you overcome those?
Headspace and time is one thing. People are working long days, busy days, doing what is needed today for their clients, freeing up some of the creative energy and not putting it back into BAU, but dedicating it organizationally to thinking about not how you run the bank, but how you change the bank, thinking outside your specific stack of products and services across the possibilities of what the client could need. It's a hard transition. So that takes a lot of commitment, both from the top of the house to make it possible, but also from every single player in the organization. All of a sudden, opportunity looks a lot like very hard work, and a lot of changes in the pace of how you work. So that's one and a big barrier. The second barrier is that even when you identify opportunities, they still are a lot of hard work, and you have to separate scarce resources, both human and material, to run and change your organization. The commitment is sizable, so the decision to jump in a timely manner is a very difficult one, and in many ways that becomes the ultimate barrier. Figuring out what you should do, figuring out how to do it, and then making the decision to commit.
You've talked a lot about the internal effort required. What about the external? What are the role of fintechs in helping the banks innovate?
In our organization, we tend to focus on two areas where the fintech community and individual fintechs can actually help us. One is a constant process of learning. Mentoring is always a two-way process. I personally do a lot of mentoring, so do a lot of my colleagues. And we learn as much as we share, and going into those conversations with that particular mindset is powerful. Because if an early stage startup comes to us to help with the personas of their ultimate consumer, they gain, we gain. The other piece, and for us it is particularly true given what we do in the ecosystem, is as you're trying to create network effects and an ecosystem of value, there are things that a particular fintech can do much better and much easier if they're playing with us and one of our clients in a three-way conversation. And we are actively curating those conversations and building the tools to support them. These are sharing economies we're moving towards, and there is a partnership role that fintechs can play, where they identify their niche, they have that single-minded determination no big corporate can ever have, and they bring that freshness and focused T-bar offering that sits really nicely on top of everything else.
Leda, that's great. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching.